Wow, it's so cool to see everyone joining. Hey, Ina, are we supposed to be talking about anything in particular, or are we going wild? Maybe you should tell us what to do for a second.
So it's like a teaser, a tease into intimacy in relationships. What is that? What is intimacy? What does that? How does that relate to relationships? And wherever that everyone else wants to go, it's like a quickie teaser.
I see. And then what she didn't mention was that you also wanted us to add money and right riches for you into the conversation. How on earth would we squeeze
And
this
right voice for you and pragmatic psychology, all of it rolled into one.
Exactly. Only a few short things, right?
Yes.
Well, the thing is with intimacy is that if you've heard of access consciousness, you know that there's actually 5 elements to intimacy, which is honor, trust, vulnerability, gratitude, and allowance. You always exactly. And so if you look at that, that can be kind of confronting to have with a person, to actually have total allowance of someone that you're in relationship with. And we're not perfect.
No, we're not.
We definitely don't always have allowance of each other.
But we make it work.
Exactly. And every time we choose to have allowance of one another, our relationship works much better. And so then if you look at that, and let's say it's vice versa, whether it's we add in, more of a topic or something, whether it's, pragmatic psychology, the way someone's thinking, allowance of their point of view. If it is how they're being in the world, right voice for you. If it's how they're choosing to deal with their financial situation, again, interesting point of view. They have that point of view about finances. And it's all just part of, tweaking these tools, these access consciousness tools, to be able to create a different point of view for yourself. Because the minute you change your point of view, you can change anything. And it doesn't matter if the other person is changing it or not.
Then the other part of that is being vulnerable enough to open up and going, hey, I've got a problem, I've stuffed up, or whatever it is, and allowing the other person to contribute. And that is creating. And sometimes, it can be confronting, depending, especially in this relationship, when I'm the mother and supposed to have it right in this reality, and I don't.
No, you do have it right.
Thank you, darling.
Hey.
You see the manipulation? But we have fun. But it is also being able to have someone at your back, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a partner, or just having someone that you can be intimate with, that you can be open and vulnerable and honest, and know that they have your back. They are an allowance of you in every area, whether it's money, whether it's their relationships, whether it's creation of money, joy of business, all the different aspects of access can play into that as well.
Are you still there? Have we fried you? What's happening?
It seems like we went full in and they're like, we told you it's going to be a quickie teaser.
Yeah,
that was
we gave them the energy of what next month is going to look like.
Only a little.
Only a little, yeah. But does anyone have any questions that you would like to ask Rebecca and Margie, or any one of us? So Rebecca and Margie are bringing on like the right riches for you, and which is like something in like relationships we are always looking at somehow wonking it around money. So, like I remember when I was growing up, one of the things that I grew up here listening to was that good accounts make good friends. And though it worked in certain areas, but it really stuck me in others, because it really didn't allow me to be present at so many times. So I'm like really excited to get the whole downloads as much as I can get from you guys about including wealth and money in relationship, and what does that create in regards to having the elements of intimacy, of being you uh, with that.
And it's so interesting to try and do a one-part telecall on this in this monthly series, because and it's one of those things that, you know, one tool can create a huge change in this area, because when you like, relationships is one of the things that we are often not so willing to look at, or if we are, it's only in a certain aspect that won't change your point of view too much. So then you can just get the change that you wanted to get, but nothing further than that. So you already have that energy coming up to deal with. And then let's talk about one of the most touchy subjects on the planet, money. So it's if you're joining us, it is for the brave. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the people that are not willing to go in gung ho, because these are two topics that they're not easy. They're not necessarily comfortable. And if you will stick with us, if you will join us in a bit of a ride, we would love to see a completely different possibility, one that is truly committed and created from ease, joy, and glory. Because what I've noticed is whenever you try and have the relationship you think you're supposed to have, it doesn't work.
No, it never works out that way, and there's some twist that happens. And often it's better but if you use the tools and you be an allowance and went, wow, it's interesting that happened, or this was created, or you go down a completely different path that you didn't expect, and went, wow, okay, interesting point of view. And then what's right about this? Same access tools, and it comes up with something completely different that is far, far greater.
So I mean, if you're looking at coming to any of the series, and if you're looking at playing with this month, because I mean, Valentine's Day can bring up so much for people. It's the time that you can either judge yourself for the relationship that you do have because it didn't look like the Valentine's Day you were supposed to have, or that you're too single to be part of the Valentine's Day that you're supposed to have that you're not having because you're too single to have it. And so that is more of like the general kind of, sure, like this is how you could judge yourself this relationship month. Or, I mean, with this series, you could actually dive into what does it create to be intimate with you? And here are all these different ways that we love to hide from ourselves, as in the way that you think, pragmatic psychology, the way that you show up in the world, being like, that's both being you and both right voice for you, because right voice is actually about how you show up in the world. And then being you is more about what you're actually being for you. And then let's throw in money at the end just to make things really difficult. Like this is going to be a bit of a confronting month. This is not like a la la la, maybe I'll get the man I desire someday relationship month. It's not that call. If you're looking for that call, you need to go somewhere else. maybe pick up like a really hot, steamy book and just throw yourself a bath and have a great time, because that won't be these calls. Knowing these 5 women that are facilitating it, this is not the right place to be. But on the other hand, if you are looking for a completely different reality, if you're looking for a change, if you know something else should be possible with the way that you are with yourself, with the way that you are with your family and your loved ones, and if you have a relationship with your insignificant other as well, then consider this and look at what it would create for you, because it will never show up the way you think it's going to.
Wow. Thank you. That was like
I love that disclaimer that yes, it's not gonna show up the way you think it will. And you know what? Most of the times it probably will show up as greater. And you may not have the need to change your existing partner. You may just start enjoying that partner even more, and even enjoying yourself even more. So
don't throw them in the bin. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Try just celebrating your life.
And I love the way that you and Margie create, like being a mother and daughter. It's like so amazing to see you guys of how you contribute to each other in regards to, money, wealth, investments. So I'm really curious to um, get a sense of what would that, like, you're absolutely right. Like, I'm just getting right now while talking that one call 1 week is, we might have to do an extension.
We'll see where the demand is.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And we're in Venice right now. We're at the Art of Creation class. It's been the most fantastic class of the universe so far. And I know we say that a lot, but really it's shaking everyone to their core here. And we actually have to go because we're going to get to class. So I'm sorry that we can't stay any longer, but we look forward to seeing any and all of you on this month of intimacy. And, it was fun to play with you this morning. I love a good cookie.
Thank you for joining us, guys. We look forward to seeing more of you next month.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
So, Shivam, what is being you in relationship like?
What being you is in relationship? Oh, well, you know what? I'm having actually this call in about 6-7 days. But yeah, really, what do you think is being you? And what if I love when Dane here says that the key to changing relationship, or key to having a successful relationship, is being you. And what if being you is not about no, I am this way and I'm that way? What if being you is about being everything that it takes to create more in your life, including your relationships, and to be able to get there? And I know that's probably not an easy choice to make. It's one thing to get it in words, and it's like, aha, that's being you. But the calls and things that we'll be creating around this is basically about to get you to that space where you're truly being you with a lot more ease. How's that for right voice for you? And then you start to, what if that is what it starts to create for you, to have, show up as what your voice is in your reality and for the world.
Yeah, so true. It's like, does anyone have any questions? If you have any for being you or relationships, like, what's up? What's up with you guys? How's the relationship going?
Yeah. And what is it that you're looking for in your relationship? What is it that you have, I'm trying so hard not to go into the call already, but really, you're here for a reason. What is that reason? You could unmute yourselves and speak up. Okay, notice how maybe Ina, now is the time to talk about voice.
All right, so I have a question.
All right, sorry.
My intimacy with money is what just suddenly showed up to me when everybody was talking. And I was like, okay, I need to ask this question because I don't feel intimate with money. It feels a very physical object out there. And I feel similarly across all relationships I build beyond the family. It's all very artificial, made up, not real. So what would it take for me to actually feel the real relationship with everything that I touch and I'm with is, I guess, my question.
So yeah, awesome question. Thank you so much. And thank you for your absolute vulnerability with that. It is like this sense of, so what have we defined as what is a real relationship? We tend to look at, all the definitions and the roles and the costumes that are there, that what Rebecca was also talking about in regards to what is a, perfect relationship, like the Valentine relationship. that will work for you, or and that could be with anyone. It could be with your family, your friends, anyone else that you meet, that you create with. And we tend to look at that from that aspect that keeps us from actually being present in that 10 seconds, to be with whatever that person is being, and to be whatever you can be with that person at that particular time, without having to say, okay, so I really enjoyed these 10 seconds, so that is going to define the rest of my relationship for the rest of their life and my life. Does that make sense? So when we get out of trying to define the relationship, because relationship is actually, we tricked you by calling it relationship, but relationship actually is the distance that you maintain that is between you and something else or someone else. So till the time you are keeping that and maintaining and creating a relationship, you cannot actually have your voice and show up as you, because you're not being present. You're functioning from a defined space for what it has to look like and be like. Like if I'm with a friend, then that friend has to do this for me, and has to have my back, and has to, for them to have my back, it has to look like this. Everything that is can be destroyed and create out of that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, online share, boys and girls. What if you could enjoy people whenever you are with them, or whenever you're not with them, but they're in your space, and everything that doesn't allow that can be destroyed and create all. Right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn,
Yes.
online share, boys and girls.
And that's the thing. It's like you are probably willing to be vulnerable in your relationship right now, but relationship is also a space where it demands a lot of vulnerability for people to be in. So and then can we just acknowledge that even for your partner, it's a demand that they've never seen before. So what if you could receive them being artificial? What if you could receive, or what if it was not about making your partner the perfect partner that you thought they could be? What if it was not about making your relationship the perfect relationship you thought it would be? But and that's one of the elements of gratitude, right? To be grateful not for the awesome things that you've decided are the awesome things when your expectations are met, but what if you could receive your relationship, receive you, and you could receive the other person even when your expectations are not met? Everything that doesn't allow you to show up as you, and it's not going to kill you. What if more of you starts to show up then? Could you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right,
Yes.
around, good and bad, hot and cold, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What if artificial was, again, like how Ina said, just momentary? What if we could just ride the wave of relationship?
And that's so beautifully said as well. It's like, I hope this is like helpful, Saurabh. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So and that could be the same with your business, we're so used to creating relationships, a comfortable distance from everything. What if you could show up in, like, how many times do we do this? Oh, this person said this to me, now I am not going to, So those are all the barriers that we have up in our world that actually keep us from showing up as all of us, no matter what someone else is choosing.
Yes.
Like, where are you being at the effect? Where's the total choice in that? Where you're being at the effect of what someone else is projecting at you or telling you how you should show up. Because that, like, look at the way relationships are done and how we are brought up. Like, there is a bit of a different possibility available, and that's what we would like to invite through this 1 month into, like, for whoever will join. And if everyone chooses that, to step into being themselves, having their voice, being present, choosing that works, creating that works, and then those people go out enjoying sex in relationship, having money, enjoying money,
having
then
money.
those people go, and then those people go out into the world and then meet up with more people. What is what is that creating? Like, what are we creating with this call is a different possibility of being, and a different possibility of a world that we desire to see more of, where people can show up as themselves, where we can give ourselves when we give ourselves the permission to show up as ourselves, that gives permission to other people. And they might not choose in that 10 seconds, but they might go home and then say, there was something different about that person. Maybe I can step into being more. Or not. But what would that, I have seen over, since the amazing Access Consciousness tools have come into my life, I have chosen them, how my world has been changing and how I am interacting with the world. And that is really the right voice for you as well. It's like how, it's not exactly always what you're saying and what you're writing and what you're singing. It's how are you showing up in the world?
Yeah. And you know, and yeah, that's so true. Like, how are you showing up in the world, and where have you decided that you can only show up as this much, or your relationships can only get better this much, or your money situations can get only this much? What if, I mean, notice like, I mean, when we ask the question, what is it that you are here for, you know, and everyone, I mean, it showed up, something showed up in everyone's world. And you know, only thing is, perhaps some of you were not able to put it in words, and then some of you had probably given up. So have you given up on what you're asking for? Are you making your ask small, that you're like, you know what, forget about celebrating life, let me just try to fix this little part of me? What if the key to have, you know, everything and being and enjoying adventure of life was making your ask bigger? And I love this, like, you know, Gary keeps talking about in his books and things. It's when he says that what you're asking for, if that doesn't show up, and trust the universe, that probably the universe wants to give you something greater. So what is it that you have not acknowledged about the universe having your back? Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, receive, perceive that. Could you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, part and pop, all nine shows, birth and beyond. So everywhere you have given up, what if you could have your back now and commit to what you were asking for and ask for something greater, rather than just changing, fixing, and, you know, doing the small tweaks? Instead of that, what if you could just ask for a lot more and receive it too?
Thank you so much for your question, Saurabh.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you guys would like us to
I
talk
have
about?
a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I've noticed in the last couple of months, that I always invite partners that are like, what would you say, broken or need to be healed, and at some point facilitate that change in their lives maybe, and then they tend to move away, which is fine. I just don't want to, I just feel that I'm done with these broken people in my life. So some awareness around that.
Do you want to take that, Shivu?
Yeah, sure. Well, what if you could, before you choose a partner, you could ask questions around it? Question empowers, right? So what if one fun question was, if I were truly being me, would I choose to be with this person? And even if you get it right, that's fine. And then what if you could ask, like, you know, and it's all about choice. If you were making a choice to have different type of partners, you know, that probably don't require any fixing or anything, then what if you could ask a different question around that? So, you know, what have you, so are you looking to be needed? Okay, I see your face. Yeah, so everywhere you're looking to be needed rather than cherished, and be contributed to. So what if you decided, you know, where relationships are about give and take, what if you could also receive contribution from the person? So a fun question to ask: if I choose this, will this create my future or decay my future? A fun question to ask would be, and you will start to get an energy and awareness around it. And a fun question to ask would be, would this be a contribution to me? Just simple questions. Is that
and
something you...
like how we stick ourselves with, we've chosen something and then we think we're going to choose it again and again. No, you wouldn't. You've chosen it once, choice creates. You've chosen it once, it's given you, okay, maybe twice because you were not convinced enough. Now it's given you information and you're like, hey, that doesn't work for me. Now what would I like to choose?
Yeah.
And what is the space of a question that Shivam is saying, like being the space of a question of now what would I like to choose? Not go into the wrongness of your choices so far. Because when you choose, it gives you information. and you say, okay, that doesn't work for me. So what's going to?
And what
would I
if you
to do now?
Yeah, what if those choices showed up so you could get an awareness of what's not working for you, right? And so now, based on that choice, including contribution from that choice, you could make another choice. Does that help?
It's 1 o'clock.
Yes.
On that note, get out of here.
Thank you for the amazing questions.
Thanks, Pooja. Thank you so much for your question. And there's so much more information there. So join us if it calls you.
Yeah. Hey, can we quickly
If you're ready,
introduce
actually not even about calling. If you're ready to go all the way, let's do this.
Yes,
1 month.
yes. If you're willing to go all the way, and then, what if this was about stepping away from past, present, and future, and creating something in the now that is contribution to your past, present, and future? I don't know what I said there. So, so hey guys, just to quickly want to introduce our team. You already met Rebecca and Margie and Ina and me. We also have Charu, Saurabh, Shruti Agarwal, and Sunita Batra. I kind of almost made Sunita Chopra. Sunita Batra, who's part of a beautiful team, and they are such amazing contribution. If you don't have their contact information, we'll send out their contact information. Please reach out to them. Please, you are free to reach out to any one of us. And we really look forward to having some fun adventure and changing something that's probably not existed on this reality before. Would you like to contribute to that?
Yep. And
Yes.
and Susanna Mittermeier, she couldn't join us for this call, but she's going to be on week 3 with pragmatic psychology, with making sex and relationship work for you. So first week is with being you in relationship. Second week is using your voice in relationship. Third week is making sex and relationship work for you. And fourth week is what is it? Having riches.
In relationship. You can have that too. Remember, what if your ask was just small? How big can your ask be? Not.
Yeah.
I did
even with
ask. Yeah.
So cool. Thank you so much for joining us. And
I was just gonna say, please be prepared for some really crazy perverted humor. We are going to go there. So,
what's perverted? We know.
Yeah, no, we are saints.
We're good girls. Cool.
Right. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you.